Hello, 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 hello. My name is Janelli, and welcome to canipairs'ems, a joke on comparisons in where I only showcase the comparisons portion of my usual swatch and review. Hi. First and foremost, we're going to be talking about HOLO TACO's Coastal Cremes collection, and that one was sent to me in PR. There's no obligation for me to post, create content, do anything with it, but I do want to share it with y'all. Eventually, huge asterisk, big word, caveat, okay? So, I am only going to be showing comparisons for this video because I don't have time right now for swatches, okay? Because this is a standalone comparison video for the Coastal Cremes collection, I went a little crazy. Usually, I'm very reserved in my comparisons portion during normal swatch and review videos because I don't want the video to be too long. But with it being a standalone video, I felt like the world was my oyster and I can pick as many colors as I want to compare with, essentially. So I will be also showcasing the bag that comes with a collection, like if you purchase the entire collection. That bag is only available when you purchase the entire collection bundle. The swatch and review portion of this video, I don't know when it'll come out. It's 8 polishes, and yes, they're cremes, but like if you've seen my blog, it takes me quite some time. So I just wanted to showcase comparisons first. I thought it'd be fun, something new, you know, and yeah, let me know what you think of seeing comparisons first and then swatches maybe later. All right, let's look at this bag. So the exterior is a thick canvas tote material of sorts. The signs here, it's just a graphic, like the iron-on graphic type shit. So I definitely foresee it eventually crinkling, peeling off probably. And then on the other side, it has the have some fun before you die. For those unfamiliar with Christine, she would often say this in her YouTube channel, and her dad would say it as well. And so I think it's become like, I'm gonna say maybe like a tribute to her dad that has passed away. And I noticed that the button here is magnetic, so it clips on magnetically. There's no zippers, no nothing, and the only wide part is really this bottom part here, so it can flatten out. Measurements. All right, I got my handy dandy little thing. The tote itself, from there to there, is about if I round it up, it's 16 inches. For my centimeter friends, that is 40 centimeters. To here, it's 33 centimeters and 13 inches. So 4.5 almost, and 11.5 centimeters is about 10.25 inches. And then 26 centimeters is what I saw here before I lost it. Yes. And then inside there are pockets. There's this pocket where I guess you can put like your wallet, keys, sunglasses, like quickly to reach things. And then there's another pocket which low-key confuses me. Maybe this is the sunglasses pocket actually. Here, my own glasses for display. Ta-da, you could do that. Or just shove them in there. Yeah, this seems more sunglasses, glasses coated. Something I haven't seen on this bag is washing instructions. If it's like a graphic tee, your best bet is to wash it inside out so you can kind of preserve the graphics here from wrinkling and peeling, and I would say air dry too, because if you put these in the dryer, the crinkling and peeling effect will quicken. So here I have a 13-inch laptop, and this I know for sure is gonna fit nicely in the bag, and I can even close it technically, and there's still room available. Like, yeah, there's still room available for me to put books or packages or something in there. This is my gaming editing laptop here, so this one's a biggin, and is 17 inches screen wise, and like it will fit, but like now I can't like seal it even without all the stuff here. It's just, You see how close it is to the gap here, or to the opening here? So I would say nothing bigger than 16 to 15 inches for a laptop would fully and nicely close. Like I could put my charger still in here, power banks, whatever. I mean, it's for light traveling, I would say. But I know there's some people that like to stuff their bags and live mouse how you see it fit. Anyway, that's my review of the bag. Up first for comparisons is Creamsicle Coast, and here I have HOLO TACO's Oh My Gourd and HOLO TACO's Butterscotch Hop. I think they make a great gradient. Otherwise, my gourd is orange and Butterscotch Hop looks like a true warmer yellow, whereas Creamsicle is kind of like that in-between shade. Has a little bit of orange, has more yellow of course, but not quite. And then I thought of comparing it next to ilnp's Honeybee and ilnp's Cream Pop. Now, Cream Pop is UV reactive, whereas the other two are not. Honeybee is more of a pastel-y yellow, and Creamsicle compared to Cream Pop, they could be siblings. Cream Pop is just a little bit more saturated than Creamsicle, but I mean, you can justify both ways. You can say they're close enough to where I don't need both, or you can say they're different enough. Like, it's totally up to the individual. Then I thought of comparing it next to HOLO TACO's Banana Hacks and HOLO TACO's Banana Medicine. They're more on the yellow, like actual yellow spectrum, versus Creamsicle being that orangey vibe, so not quite. Then I thought of comparing it next to HOLO TACO's 1 Melon Followers and HOLO TACO's Rest in Peach. Again, these are more on the truer orangey side, pastel-y of sorts, whatever, whereas Creamsicle here is now showing a little bit more yellow, so it definitely interchanges between yellow and orange depending on the colors next to it, but compared to these two, it's nowhere near. And then for shiggles, I have here Creamsicle compared to Sunshine Crush, because I saw, I think, a comment on Reddit that's like, we lost Sunshine Crush for this, and I thought they were referencing Creamsicle, but baby girl, they're nowhere near each other. Moving on to serving sherbet, I have here HOLO TACO's 1 Melon Followers and HOLO TACO's Rest in Peach. Now, serving sherbet is that in-between pinky orange shade, coral if you will, I guess, but 1 Melon Followers is much more orange leaning, and the same thing with Rest in Peach is just much more paler than 1 Melon Followers, so I would categorize these as they're different enough, but again, it's up to the individual. So then I thought of comparing it next to more pinky polishes, and I have here HOLO TACO's What Do You Pink and HOLO TACO's Pinky Swear. So these are much more pink than serving sherbet, and What Do You Pink is more on the cool tone pink, whereas the other two just lean a little more warmer, especially serving sherbet, so not quite. Then I thought of comparing it to HOLO TACO's Cloud 9 and Cracked Polish's heart-shaped necklace, as I felt they both had some orangey undertones going on, but I would say tonality wise, maybe Cracked Polishes looks no. They're clearly pink, and serving sherbet looks more orangey pink, more salmony, if you will. Not salmony, I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, no. This one is more of a hear me out, and the hear me out's not hearing me out, so I would just immediately deny this, but I wanted to showcase it in case anybody was curious how HOLO TACO's Rosemary Kill and HOLO TACO's Sweet Tooth looked next to serving sherbet. Then I wanted to see it next to Creamsicle Coast and ilnp's Patisserie. Obviously very different, but Patisserie in the bottle looked slightly more pinkish, whereas on the actual swatch stick it looks more terracotta colored, so yeah, not quite. Moving on to Summer Scandal, I have here HOLO TACO's The Floor is Guava and HOLO TACO's 1 Melon Followers. I think 1 Melon Followers is like the cousin adjacent to Summer Scandal. It's kind of like in the same family. Summer Scandal just has a richer color going on. It's kind of like I took a little bit of The Floor is Guava and mixed 1 Melon Follower together of sorts to make Summer Scandal. But yeah, I would say Summer Scandal is right in the middle of these two, but they make a nice gradient. So then I thought of comparing it next to Ella and Mila's Pinktini and Mooncat's Koi Whiskers in the cold state. So here Summer Scandal showing up a little bit more orange leaning, whereas the other two kind of look like twins low key. So if you miss Koi Whiskers or don't want to pay Mooncat prices, check Ella and Mila, see if they have them still. But yeah, otherwise Summer Scandal and these two, I want to say they're slightly different, but like I don't know if I can justify having both, if that makes sense. I guess it's dependent on, do you want a more orangey or more pinky tone, you know? And then I started comparing it to Serving Sherbert and trying my luck again with ilnp's Patisserie. I want to say Patisserie is not that far off, it's just a more brown tone going on. And of course, Serving Sherbert is more pinky compared to Summer Scandal. So for Boardwalk Behavior, I have here HOLO TACO's Rage Bait in the Cold State and HOLO TACO's Icon on Board. So Icon on Board is more of that hot pink. And I also realized that it's UV reactive, so there's that. And then Rage Bait's it's too rich, so no. So then I have here HOLO TACO's Life in Plastic and HOLO TACO's Bless Your Heart. So both of these are very different compared to Boardwalk Behavior. One formulation wise, but also color wise. So I would say not quite. And then I started comparing it to HOLO TACO's Pop Rocker and Sally Hansen's Point Guard Pink. Point Guard Pink, I felt like bottle wise it was close-ish, but on the swatch stick it's very, very different. And then Pop Rocker as well is very different compared to Boardwalk Behavior, so not quite. Then I started comparing it to Prism Parade's Shortcake and ilnp's Day Trip. Both Day Trip and Shortcake are UV reactive, Boardwalk is not. And Shortcake is a pink neon. My camera at certain angles makes it a little bit more whitewash, but I would say Day Trip would be quote unquote the closest, but not really. But pick your saturation level and if you want it to be UV reactive. Then I started comparing it to Mooncat's Merkitten and Mooncat's Sakura Serenade in the Cold State. I would say that none of these are really close to it. Sakura Serenade is much, much richer. And to me, these both scream very hot pink compared to Boardwalk Behavior. So then I started comparing it to Mooncat's Koi Whiskers in the Cold State and Funny Business Girlbossed Too Close to the Sun, which is a glow-in-the-dark and also UV reactive. So between these two, I wouldn't say it's anywhere near a dupe of any form. I think Girlbossed is too hot of a pink and also completely different properties. And then Koi Whiskers is too orangey leaning compared to Boardwalk Behavior. So for Dockside Drama, I have here HOLO TACO's Very Loud and HOLO TACO's Electric Sweetner. Electric Sweetner is not pinky purple enough, and Very Loud, I would say honestly those two make a great like nail art combo of sorts, like a creme and hollow vibe. Color wise, I would say they're similar, but formulation, one's a linear hollow and the other one's a creme. So then I started comparing it next to HOLO TACO's Work Bestie and HOLO TACO's Crystal Mommy. Crystal Mommy because it is technically a pinky purple, but Dockside Drama is much more pinky purple, almost Barney coated. And Work Bestie, I swear it wasn't this dark, but clearly it is. And it could make a great Skittle honestly with Dockside Drama, but not quite. So then I started comparing it next to HOLO TACO's Anti-Hero and HOLO TACO's Don't Be Jelly, mainly for the pinky purple base. I would say Anti-Hero is the closest to the color of Dockside Drama, whereas Don't Be Jelly is a little bit much darker. But of course, formulation wise, very different coverage here. So then I got curious how this looked next to HOLO TACO's High Tea Hibiscus and Crack Polish's No Reservations Unmagnetized, as I felt that one was on the pinky purple side, but compared to Dockside Drama, not quite. And then High Tea Hibiscus, very much fuchsia-y compared to Dockside, so not quite. Then I thought of Crack Polish's Vacation Mode and Prism Parade's Gummy Bear. I think these two are the closest that I have in my collection, but Dockside Drama is much darker compared to these two. One thing though is that Prism Parade's Gummy Bear is UV reactive, but otherwise I would say these are different enough in my opinion. For Sea Salt Taffy, I have here ilnp's Minted and ilnp's Secret Garden. Minted is UV reactive and it's much, much brighter than Sea Salt Taffy. And then Secret Garden of course is much darker, so not quite. So then I started comparing it next to Mooncat's Jump Jump Bug in the Cold State and Mooncat's Ribbit Ribbit. Ribbit Ribbit I found out is UV reactive, whereas Sea Salt is not, and of course Jump Jump Bug is a thermal. Color wise, they're all very different, but they make a good Skittle. Lastly, for sea salt, I have here HOLO TACO Seafoam Home and HOLO TACO's Crime and Punishment. Seafoam Home is definitely the one closest to sea salt taffy. The difference is that sea salt taffy is a little bit more vibrant and a little bit more green leaning compared to Seafoam Home. And Crime and Punishment is more of a pastel green, again, more green than sea salt taffy. I think you can do without both if you really want. It's just a matter of like, do you want something a little more lighter or a little bit richer in tone? For peer pressure, I thought of comparing it next to HOLO TACO's Funny Feeling in the cold state and HOLO TACO's David's Teal. David's Teal, it has more of a green undertone to it, whereas peer pressure is more blue leaning, and then Funny Feeling in the cold state is too teal. So then I started comparing it next to HOLO TACO Scientific and Funny Businesses Circling Back. Circling Back is too teal compared to Peer Pressure, and Scientific is a much lighter blue. Where here, Peer Pressure almost looks a little more teal, has like a little bit more green going on. It's that type of color that just kind of flip-flops depending on who's next to it. For Midnight Marina, I have here HOLO TACO's Pepet Blue and HOLO TACO's Peri-social. Because Midnight Marina isn't like a true blue, there's some dustiness and almost purpley undertone going on. I thought maybe Peri-social could be close, but Peri-social here looks more purple leaning, and then Pepet Blue is too blue leaning, so not quite. Then I started comparing next to HOLO TACO's Board Meeting and HOLO TACO's Blue Whistler. Board Meeting is too much of a true blue compared to Midnight Marina, but Blue Whistler definitely is closer to Midnight Marina. It has that blurple effect of sorts going on. It's just not as dusty as Midnight Marina, so I guess depends. Do you want glitter or do you want a creme? So lastly, I have here Mooncat's Mercury's Tears and ilnp's Pullover. So Mercury's Tears again gave that blipperish vibe going on. I feel like when I tilt the swatch stick upwards, it could look slightly similar to Midnight Marina. Not quite exact, but the vibes are there. And then Pullover is just not it. Alright, those were the comparisons. Let me know your thoughts on how similar or different they actually appeared next to other shades. There was a lot of discourse online on how a lot of the colors in this Coastal Creme collection was very similar to something that HOLO TACO has released and or retired. I can see the justification of no, they're different enough, or no, they're close enough to where you don't need both. And yeah, I totally see both sides of the spectrum. Honestly, I understand that for newcomers into the nail community, these shades are great. Like, they're fun, they're unique, especially for starting out, because if you go to a drugstore, I feel like you're gonna have a hard time finding a couple of these shades. Maybe not so much the pinks and the corals. Again, let me know what you thought about this video. Do it now. Do it. Let me know what you like or what you didn't like. And yeah, thanks so much for watching and hanging out with me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that jazz, and I'll see you on the next one.